All right, it's been a little bit since I've done a video. Been a lot that's happened. Just really hadn't been doing any updates. Just working on it as I can. As you can see here, I've relocated my battery. I don't have any inner fenders right now. I don't have the outer fenders on. And so while trying to get this thing running, I didn't know what I was going to do with the battery. And I decided just go ahead and relocate it. That way it's got a permanent home. And then it'll clean up underneath the hood when everything starts coming together. And so I made this little box that's right here. I bought the metal. I've got a plasma cutter. I cut it out. Got some turnbuckles holding on a piece of angle iron. I got rubber insulation in between it and the frame. Got the same rubber inside the case to help hold the battery. And then I've got the dual port, so I'm gonna run my starter and my alternator to here. This will power my accessories. When I do my air ride, it's gonna go on that side. That's where I'm thinking right now. And so I'll power that over here as well. Got 1/aught cable running to the starter. Got a lot of different opinions on what sides to use. Seemed like 1/aught was a good place, kind of in the middle. And then for my accessories, I went with American Auto Wiring. So it came with that mega fuse. Everything's running through the frame. I've got grommets on there. I went through, secured everything to the frame with clips. Started working on getting the harness wired up. Running from the alternator down to the starter. You can see where everything kind of comes together. Then my accessory wire, I've got ran up there to a junction. I've got a better junction. This one's up here kind of just temporarily. I've got the main power going to the fuse panel, and then the other 3 red wires are running to my standalone harness. So I paid a guy here in Arkansas. He's kind of known in the community for doing this, and he made me a standalone harness. He's got everything labeled. I've got a lot of stuff wired up. Got a lot of stuff I won't use. Cruise control. I think about the only thing out of here I'm going to use is the torque converter, lockup, and the OBD port. Everything else will just get capped off. I'm doing a drive-by-wire, so I'm actually going to make a bracket to connect right here to hold the drive-by-wire, and then extend it off to hold the computer for now, because I don't really have anywhere to put it. So everything will just kind of live in this general area until I'm done. That American Auto Wire came with a brand new fuse block. I don't have it all on there yet, just the stuff I need to get it started. So I've ran, here's the red wire you can see right there. That's what I ran for accessory power. And then the purple I've got ran to the starter solenoid. And then this pink wire, which normally would feed this is still set up for like a distributor set. I think this is what I will run to my computer 12-volt accessory on. And then I still got to wire up all my fans. Nothing major. And then I think there's one more wire on here. I got to wire up the fuel pump. No big deal there. I've got some 10 gauge wire. I'm just going to run it to the back for now. So as you can see, wiring, it's taking a little bit. I've just gone slow. So this right here, all this is a standalone LS Swap harness. I'm not tying into it for anything else. And then inside the truck, I've got a fuse panel. I got to start getting all the fuses and stuff in. I've got a lot of wires that some of it I'll use, some of it I won't. Some stuff I'll steal for other parts. Wire up my OBD2 port. I've actually got Dakota Digital, and I've got their little device that plugs into this, and then it pulls all the information it needs supposedly from here, so I don't actually have to wire up all that fuel pressure. I still want fuel, temperature, oil pressure. None of that has to get wired up individually. It'll all pull from here. So I've got to find a place to mount this and get this wired up. And then it's pretty easy. It's got, I think, power. It's got the one that plugs into the computer, and then 2 grounds. And so I've got this truck pretty well grounded. I'm gonna put a couple more grounds on it, but I've got a special switch that I bought that'll do the torque converter lockup control. So it's a double switch. So it's got the brake, and then in the back it's got the torque converter control. And so it basically, one is on, one is off. You push the brakes and it flips which one's on and which one's off. That seems pretty straightforward. I need to get my neutral safety switch installed. That's what that wire there and that wire there. So they're from that harness. They plug right in. I just took it off because I wanted to make sure I could get it adjusted. At the time, I didn't have the column, the shifter hooked up, but now it's hooked up, so I actually know where my park, reverse, neutral, I now know where all that lives. Goes through all the gears, back into park. And even though it ain't wiring, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it in this video. I went with the Lokar. I'll go look at what the model is, I don't remember. But I found a guide for a swap. It told me to buy this, hooked it up, did the bends. Man, it fits perfectly. It hits just a little bit down there on that exhaust clamp, which that clamp can be spun and it won't hit anymore. So I could probably adjust it out of it as well, but I want to spin those clamps because when I put them on, the cab wasn't on, so it was easy to put on. Now they won't be that easy to get off. So I may just cut them off and buy some new clamps and then spin them the other way. That way they're underneath the truck, easy to get off that way. And then it won't hit at all, because it barely hits. You have to really put it in park and then you can hear it clang. But that Lokar, you know, I was a little nervous about buying anything. Just, I mean, whatever. I'm at the point in the bill where it doesn't seem like anything's cheap anymore, so I don't want to waste any money. So I thought, man, I got to buy this thing and then bend it. And if it don't work, what do I do? But it worked perfect. Didn't have to cut it. Walk over here. I still got the packaging. So that's the model number for the Lokar kit that I bought. 82 square body truck, so it should work with almost any of the square bodies. And then my transmission isn't even listed on here, but it's a 4L60E and it fit perfect. So I wouldn't hesitate to buy that kit if you're dealing with the same issue. So today I'm gonna work on trying to get the fuel pump wired up. Got my sending unit, and then I gotta actually wire up the fuel pump. So I'll run my grounds and then run my wires, start getting that set up, and then hopefully it won't be too long. It'll be time to crank this thing up. I can't think of what else I might have done since my last update, but still don't have brake lines. I've got the master cylinder and that's it. I just need to run brake lines. It's not going to be hard. I just need to do it. I ran fuel lines. I can't remember if I'd done that last time I updated the video, but that was pretty straightforward. I got my fuel lines from Hot Rod Fuel Hose, and installation was easy. Seems like high quality stuff, so we'll see. Time will tell. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on all this, and hopefully it won't be too much longer. I'll have it started. I've got a couple grounds here going. Frame cleaned off, powder coating, so it's bare metal. Same thing down here. Got a ground from the chassis to the cab. And then I got a ground there, going cab to the head. And so this bar inside here, I think I'm gonna clean a lot of that paint off of there. And then I'm thinking about welding a little plate to that. And then that way I can start running some grounds off that rod right there. Because there's a couple things on the inside I need grounded, and I don't really have a good place for it. I've also got a couple distribution blocks for grounds as well. So I may tie some of these in somewhere. Just have really good grounds. I don't want to have any issues with that. Be struggling with getting this thing started just to find out you got some bad ground. So I'm probably going to put a ground similar to this one on the other side. That way I just know it's well grounded. So, all right, that's it. I'll keep you caught up.